Hello everyone, welcome back to Let's Play Virtue Last Reward. This is either the second part of the final episode or the next episode. Again, it depends on if this goes for 30 minutes or not. So, we're back at the infirmary. We are treating Alice and Quark for Radical 6 so they stop trying to free their soul from their bodies because their bodies are like a wonderful little sticky soul container. Souls should belong inside them. Meaning celebrate that we found in the queue room. Should really prepared it. Why don't we just make more? Stupids. Like, I really don't understand that. You don't know if anyone else is infected at this point. Make more. You can make infinite a supply of it.
Thank goodness. It will take some time for them to recover completely. But they should be fine.
Huzzah. So I wonder who Quark is. Like, if Jumpy has been looking for Akane for this whole time, did he still get hooked up? Did he have kids at some point? Or is that like a nephew? Did Junpei have any siblings? Do we know?
Good.
Indeed.
Thank you, Luna.
Thank you. Good bot.
And thanks for finding the medicine, you guys. Thank you so much.
Hey, don't sweat it.
No need to thank us.
Tina just said nothing, just walked over to Quark's unconscious body. Took the small boy's hand in his own and held it tight. We do know from Quark's background, I'm trying to remember now, because we did see Quark's ending, which was, he kind of told the history of him and Tenmyoji, but I don't know, I do think he said that Tenmyoji wasn't really his grandpa, but he had taken him in. I see tears at the corner of his eyes as he turned away from us. Suddenly I remembered. Dio. Where had he gone? It took me long to find him. He was sprawled unconscious on the floor beneath the sink. Handcuffs?
Oh, we found those in the crew quarters. Before you returned, we went to check on the bomb in room 2, and we found them there.
Well, that's very ironic, considering that we've seen people locked up here in the past.
Of course, the bomb was indeed turned off. Thank you again for dealing with them.
Hey, you are quite welcome. I would feel like I should owe you more of an explanation than I've given you. However, I'm pretty sure you're a bot, so you know exactly how I did that. It's part of the experiment.
You are, quite literally, lifesavers.
Facility savers.
You have my eternal gratitude.
I coughed awkwardly and looked pointedly around the room. I was over at Phi. I saw she was doing the same thing. After that, we headed back to the 4A warehouse to play the AV game. Specifically, me, Phi, Kay, and Luna. Tenmyoji had to remain in the infirmary just in case something happened with Alice, Quark, or Dio. Luna would represent Clover's team. Quark and Dio sleeping, Kay would represent their team by default. Which left me, Phi, and Tenmyoji. You should vote.
No, I'll let you handle it. I chose Betray in the last round. You probably don't trust me right now.
What? That doesn't matter now.
Excuse me. I apologize for interrupting, but I think you should be the one to vote in the next round fight.
Interesting. How come?
Why?
You already have 9 BP. There's no reason for you to choose Betray now. You see?
Hey, you're acting like I might actually try and betray her.
Not necessarily.
What does it matter what he's suggesting? We're almost there.
We are almost there. Although, we're gonna have to vote several times to get my 4 up to 9.
We just have to play the AB game 3 more times.
You know, I will say, I would have to see the overall scores. If we've already committed to playing the AB game several more times. Because, wait. If I betray, I will go from 3 points to 7 points. Or from 3 points to 4 points to 7 points. And then if I ally next time, and that will take Phi down to 7 points. But then the next time we both ally, we both go up to 9, and we can get out here in 2 rounds. Now, granted, I would have that assumes that we end up on the same teams, but as long as everyone's working together, we can get out of here faster if we mutually agree that I should betray. If we, obviously, it's a difference of about an hour and a half only, so it's not the end of the world, but still.
Then we can all get 9 points. But that means each representative has to choose ally all 3 times.
Okay. Oh, and Luna's at 3 points, so never mind. We're going to have to get out of here in 3 times. So I was thinking if I was the lowest one at 4. Never mind. Yeah, I get it.
Okay, I'll vote. You sure you're all right with this, Sigma?
Yeah, I trust you for some reason. Hand her the star key.
Shall we open the doors?
I guess they actually didn't want to because I'm stuck in a single route now. They didn't want to program a thing if I did betray. So
An ambidex gate has been opened.
They've designed it in such a way that there's no deviation here.
45 minutes remain until ambidex game polling closes.
So yeah, it's going to be a while each time.
Oh, right. We have to wait for the deadline.
Oh, well, we could vote earlier, but then each voter would be stuck inside the AB room for 45 minutes.
Okay, let's go back to the infirmary then.
Are we sure that if everyone votes, they will actually get stuck, or will it say, "Oh, all of us"? Oh, because yeah, it's going to wait for the people that aren't voting. So if all 6 of us went in there, it might go faster. But
I agree. Please, lead the way.
okay, so off towards the yellow door. About to follow.
Hold on. I just remembered something. The AB room on the left. In one of the other histories, she...
Yeah, it moved. Oh, yeah. I'd forgotten about that. So yeah, Akane isn't dead in this history. Which that is the thing that makes me the mostest confused, is why Akane, because that Dio murdering Akane happened before anything in the game, so it should be consistent across all 3 timelines, but it's not. Akane's body was in there. What does it mean? Why don't we find her body this time?
Maybe because she wasn't murdered.
But again, that doesn't make any actual sense. She should have been murdered. Why wasn't she murdered? When did history change?
Do you remember what Akane said?
The cat in the box. Is it alive? Or is it dead? Sigma. Phi. You will decide its fate.
Because yeah, ultimately, all of the AB games end. I wonder if it's actually set up so that all 9 of us don't leave, we're all killed. So that the only history that actually is able to exist going forward, as far as this facility is concerned, is the one where we leave. And so, Phi and I actually do have the ability to dictate which history is true. Schrodinger's cat thing.
Exactly.
What she meant about us deciding its fate.
Perhaps she was saying her own fate wasn't decided yet. The history where she's alive and the history where she's murdered are both real right now.
Yep. We've already opened the box. We opened the door to this AB room and there was no body.
No, we haven't opened the box. We haven't found a body, but we haven't found her alive yet either. In other words, we haven't actually observed her.
You observe where her body would be, but...
The hologram was a recording from before this game started.
The next time we meet, I can tell you the rest of the story.
Interesting.
So come and find me. I'll be waiting.
Where was Akane now? Where was she waiting for us? Beyond the number 9 door? Or what if she wasn't anywhere now. She was waiting for us on another timeline. She was waiting for us in the past. Was it even possible? Yeah, I don't think we... I know we can send our consciousness across time, but what would we... Would we send our consciousness back and wake ourselves up faster than we normally did? Ooh. What if we woke ourselves up prior to being moved into the AB rooms? She was... What would that mean? You can't to begin. There's nothing left. A new destination has been added to the flowchart. Okay, before the beginning of the game. That makes sense. And then that's the very, very end. So we have to go back, ladies and gentlemen, to before the game began. AB room of the past. Hey, I was right. So my head's gonna explode. Wait. Where the hell am I? You know where you are. It's like an elevator,
No,
but
this is one of the AB rooms.
who the hell are you? What the hell's an AB room?
Damn. I guess you did lose your memory after all.
Memory? I do remember. You're fine. We gotta get out of this room right now.
Check your bracelet.
The red pair. BP is 3.
Mine's the same.
Means the beginning of the game. We've gone back to when we first woke up the AB room.
No, not quite.
Yeah, hit the 2 buttons to see how much time
I
is
think
there.
we woke up a little earlier this time. Push the buttons on the side of your bracelet.
Yeah, that's what I was just saying, because we can actually tell that. 2 hours and 15 minutes.
We didn't wake up this long before the primary doors opened last time.
We need to get out of the room right now.
I think we're about an hour early.
Okay, we need to get out of the room right now.
Yeah, Akane might still
Yeah,
be
we need to
alive.
go right now. Stop talking.
We got back before Dio
Yes,
killed
I
her.
know. Shut up, Fi.
I think. Right.
Yes, I'm aware. Shut up.
Exactly. Don't need to tell me twice. Let's go.
I do not remember how to get out of this room. Hopefully I'll remember pretty quick. Okay, it's gonna make me do it, but there's not a timer. That's good. That is a very good point. Okay. Star, moon, moon. Just, yeah. Yep, I'm not. Yeah, come on, shut up. This is definitely... I know it doesn't actually make a difference, but... Hey, you pushed the button. Bite me? You're taking too long. We're on schedule here. I climb through the hatch and out to the top of the AB room. There's only a moment to spot them. Hydro mosquito. Move quickly and quietly. A knife glints in his right hand. There's no time to yell to her. Wait. You have time to run over there, but not time to yell. I wasn't fought. My look back, you're sitting on the roof. What the hell are you doing? Get down in. After she moved. Across the roof and launch yourself into the air. What the?
He's fine.
Easy for you to say.
Just unconscious.
I bent down, held my finger in front of his mouth. He was still breathing.
I don't think he saw me. He probably has no idea what happened to him.
I went down like a sack of potatoes.
He had it coming.
He certainly did. Freaking murder. You bringing bombs and all kinds of terrible things in here. Footsteps come to a stop right in front of us. Interesting. Okay, so if this is correct, because this whole time I was wondering why we didn't run into the bombs in one timeline and her body in a different one, whereas the middle timeline we had found both. And that would be because in this timeline over the one we're in right now, the game was already reacting to the fact we would eventually come up and save her. And therefore we never found her body in this branch of history. The other two branches of history... Oh, but that, again, because on the flow chart, that doesn't actually make sense. Because we're saving her here. So why does she suddenly end up still dead in these two? Shouldn't she not be exist in any of them? I mean, I do kind of get it. It would be, but it's basically like, I kind of see what it's doing though, because you can't take situations that you do here and go back and change what happened in these timelines. Still, it's weird. I don't know if I agree with it. I looked up.
So you came. I've been waiting for you.
Not very long from your perspective.
You're here to hear the rest, right?
Wait a minute. What the hell is your deal? How can you be so calm? When you showed up just now, you'd...
Have been stabbed in the heart by this young man and died. Yes. Although, that reminds me, I haven't thanked you yet.
This seems like an awfully long and about way to have a... Just imagine how, like, sure of her theories she actually is, though. If she's going to set up this, like, game where she ends up getting killed because she believes her death will be undone.
Thank you very much.
It actually reminds me. So as you guys know, metal conducts electricity. Imagine how ballsy it was the first time you build a... They built, like, a metal cylinder, and they hooked electrodes up to both sides, and had a person just sit in the, like, stand in the cylinder, with the assumption that the electricity would not go through the person because the metal would conduct it better. So it would intentionally not electrocute the person. But the first time that was experimented, like the first time you were actually in there, oh my god. Obviously it was a little bit different for them because they'd put other things in there before humans, but still.
I very much appreciate you saving me.
What?
Hold on. How do you know about being stabbed by Dio?
Well, that was the whole point of the experiment. They set this up knowing Dio would come and kill her.
Are you an Esper too?
Yes. Indeed I am.
We kind of knew that one. If this is indeed Akane from 999, like, being able to sync with Junpei was sort of one of the big points of that experiment.
I am able to jump through time, just like you.
Well, if that's the case, what's the point of this experiment if you already know you can do it? I knew he was gonna stab you. Why are we gonna let him do it?
Because I had to. Think back.
Yeah, we already kind of know. The real question that I have is what the purpose of the experiment actually is.
Why are you here? If I hadn't been killed by Dio, no one else would have been murdered. Consequently, your own abilities would never have manifested.
So why do we want my abilities to manifest if you can already do the same thing? How does having more help?
I did explain, didn't I? The purpose of the AB project was to send the two of you to the past. Or your minds, at least. In order for that to happen, some death was necessary. When a human brain is faced with danger, its processing speed increases.
So wait. Is the real purpose of the AB game in order to get us to understand these abilities so that we can in turn actually go back again and prevent the outbreak of Radical 6? Because that would make all of this make a whole lot more sense.
Information is processed more quickly, and time almost seems to slow. A few seconds can feel like an eternity. Unfortunately, that in itself isn't enough to send oneself through time. The amplitude of the consciousness is simply too small. In order to increase the amplitude, we need to slow down the brain before the increase happens.
Okay.
It's a little like a slingshot.
This is interesting and fascinating.
You pull back on the rubber band and then let go. The potential energy you stored in the band is released and converted into kinetic energy. That's what fires the bullet out of the slingshot.
Alright, I'm with you.
Now, while a slingshot can only fire in one direction, your mind isn't similarly limited. When the bullet of your consciousness is fired from the slingshot of your brain, it travels past the three-dimensional world and into the four-dimensional one.
This is really well done, and I'm having a very, very fun time with it. Just throwing that out there.
From that perspective, time is no longer fixed. In other words, you can travel to the future, the past, whenever you like. Your consciousness has been released from the three-dimensional cage.
Alright.
In order for that to happen, I had to infect you with Radical 6.
Okay, so that answers that particular question of, it is a quarantine facility, why are we infected with Radical 6?
We're infected with Radical 6?
Yes. Don't you remember, Sigma?
I do, that one ending where my brain does slow down.
Luna should have told you about it in another timeline.
Are you sure? Infecting all of these people with such a horrible disease?
Every single one of you has been infected. Well, apart from Luna, of course.
What about Kay?
Unfortunately, it was necessary. We needed to slow your minds in order to store up your potential energy. Then we provided a dire situation that would accelerate your processing speed. The result is what you are now experiencing. Your consciousness now occupies four-dimensional space-time. Even that, however, wasn't enough.
So yeah, I feel like the shoe's going to drop that we need to go back again in order to stop the outbreak itself.
You had the ability to travel, but your memories could easily be lost during the trip. If the project was to succeed, you had to be able to retain everything you learned in each reality.
Okay, I'm with you.
That was the reason you were forced to jump so many times.
I wonder how Luna and Kay... I guess it was just purely set up to where... Wow. Because, like, how do you... Obviously, you can fragment it based on the different decisions. But the decisions were not... Because, yeah, what was causing it is which room each individual went to. And it was just set up to, if this person's in this room, do this. But they couldn't actually influence which way we went in order to make the divisions in history.
With each jump, your ability to remember improved.
Because yeah, that's why the only splits we see in the timeline are based upon, like, even Ally and Betray wasn't doing it, it's which room we went to. No, actually Ally and Betray also created divisions. Never mind.
Eventually, you would be able to retain everything.
So that's the real purpose of the AB game, is to force decisions in order to make timelines.
That is why we made you play the AB game. That was why you had to select different chromatic doors. By forcing specific choices, we could cause you to make more jumps.
Okay, and if that's the case, which it is, then that means Zero Senior. Is it going to be Santa again? Because last time it was Akane and Santa that were Zero. Is it still them? And why bring Clover in? I get it. I think I finally... And actually, that's not Clover. That can't be Clover. Okay, there's a lot of things I don't understand, but all of what you just told me makes sense. You did all of this, so finally I could jump through 4-dimensional space with our memory intact.
Yes.
But why did you need us to do that? People have died for this. Well, not yet. I mean, there's so many different ways people die. Murder, antimatter explosion, suicide. I've died, so have you. So, why do all of this? What does it matter that finally I can jump through time?
Haven't I told you? Death was unavoidable. You are all destined to die. Sacrifices had to be made for the sake of the project.
That better not be your final answer, Akane. What I'm asking you is why? What's so goddamn important is worth all of this?
Ah. I'm sure you'll figure it out.
No.
Surely.
I can go back again and not save you, Akane.
What? Just when is eventually?
In a future not very far from now.
It's not good enough. Why can't you just tell us now? To Dio, I picked his knife up off the floor.
I'm going to keep this with me. But it's almost time.
What are you talking about? We got plenty of time.
No. In a few moments, you'll return to the original timeline.
Why?
This is the way it has to be. Don't fight it. Logomorph.
Okay, that's the spell that the rabbits in Final Fantasy VI would cast.
Yes.
What?
Logomorph?
Okay, I get that, because it's a rabbit.
You call him Zero Jr. His
How do you
official
know that?
designation is Logomorph. Logomorph, this is an order. Unlock my bracelet.
Compliance.
Now, everything is in place.
So that's why the rest of that timeline goes normally.
I have put the bracelet onto Dio. All we have to do is place his body in the 5th AB room, the second one from the right.
That's the one Quark is in, right?
Correct. I will move him. I will also put your bodies back into the 3rd AB room. Once that's done, I will reset its puzzle to an unsolved state.
So we're gonna wake up not really remembering we did this. Why do you need to do all that?
To recreate the history that you remember. Your consciousness is about to leave your body and return to the future. Your body will be emptied, and your other consciousness will jump back in. If your bodies aren't back in the 3rd AB room by then, it would be bad.
The time travel paradox, where effectively, if the history is not allowed to retake its current path, then any changes we make won't happen, and you end up kind of in a infinite loop where we keep changing things, and because we change things, we don't get to change them, and we never move forward.
So you're saying some version of us is going to wake up in that room and repeat the same history again? Well, I guess this could actually be our 2nd or 3rd time.
You are exactly correct. Lastly, I'm going to leave this with you.
She paused and pulled something out of her pocket. There's a small key attached to a string.
I'll tie it onto your ankle so that you won't lose it. All right, Sigma?
Interesting. What's it say on there?
Tu fui ego eris.
I know what that means. It's like, for us, the self is jealousy?
It's Latin. It means, what you are, I was.
Okay, I was very wrong.
What I am, you will be.
Yes.
What do I do with it?
It will help you meet someone who's very important. Go. Return to the future. You won't be alone. I will be at your side, watching over you.
All right.
Now hurry.
Wait, still... A new destination added to the flowchart. Okay, and I do love how those aren't connected, which is fair. So, once again, we're at the end of an episode, guys. We will be back here where we get to finish out the game. I'll see you next episode. I'm not going to extend again and then be like, I don't know if we'll add to the end like I did last time. See you then, guys.